Hey, it's Megan Morrison, and today I'm going to be talking all about Paul Mitchell The Demi, which is their Demi-Permanent Liquid Gel Color Line. And this has been like a long time coming. I've had it on my list of videos to film, so I'm finally doing it, and I'm really excited because I think it's going to help a lot of hairstylists because I get asked questions so often, and I get told a lot by a lot of hairstylists that they're scared to use it. They don't feel like there's enough information out there on it. So let me tell you, I am a huge fan of the Demi, and I pretty much use it on the daily. Use it for everything. I love the Demi. I use it for toning, I use it for top coating, all that stuff. We're going to talk about everything. I'm going to try to hit every point. We're going to talk about formulas. I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite formulas. I'm going to share processing time, how to make the Demi work for you, why I love it, why it's such a good color line to know about, because it honestly has made my life as a hairstylist a lot easier in so many ways, just because of how quick it is and just different things that you can use it for. So I'm going to share all of that with you guys, but real quick, make sure if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button down below, give this video a thumbs up, and also if you find this video helpful or any of my content, please share it with a friend, as it really helps me out, but it also continues to help me make really good content for you guys. It helps me to know what you guys like, what you don't like, and you can always let me know in the comments below if you guys have questions. I respond to every single one of my comments. I read what you guys say. I listen to you guys. I try to put out videos that you guys request. And also make sure you subscribe because I got a fun video coming out next week. I'm doing a Shein haul. So excited about it. So I have a big Shein order coming in. I might throw in some other things as well from other places, but I basically cleaned out my whole closet and pretty much got like a whole new spring wardrobe. It needed to happen. Like, I literally had so many clothes, old clothes from like years and years. So I got some really cute trendy items that I'm going to be wearing at the salon and when I'm filming and when I'm going out to do weddings. So I feel like it ties into my channel. So if you guys are interested in the Shein haul to see that's going to be some really cute like trendy pieces, chic, classic. So tune in for that, and if you guys are subscribed, you'll get notified when that video comes out. Anyways, let's get into talking about the Demi. So there's so much to cover. I'm just going to start with what you can use the Demi for. So the Demi is amazing. It's very versatile. You can use it for many different things, and you can use it for toning your blondes, refining hair. It doesn't even have to be blondes, just toning and refining. You can use it for top coating if you've got someone who needs like a color refresh on their ends, it's looking a little dull. You can easily grab the Demi and give them a quick little refresh on their ends, or maybe they've got like a red, you can refresh their red hair, the red highlights, all of that. You can also use it for gray blending, which is great for those clients that don't want to commit to permanent hair color, but they want to start playing with it, or they just want to blend those grays a little bit more. They can use it for gray blending, not gray coverage. You won't get coverage with it, but you can get blending. And we'll talk about that more specifically in just a few minutes. Also, let's see, color corrections. Can we just talk about this for a second? Like I said, the Demi has like cut my time down by so much, specifically for color corrections and toning. But I love using the Demis for color corrections. The processing time is really quick. The total processing time for the Demi is 20 minutes, but the Demi can process anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes is going to give you maximum coverage, maximum longevity, and then of course a lot of times when I'm toning like my blondes and things like that, they're sitting on for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, just depending on what color I'm using in the Demi. All right, So I'm looking at my notes and my color chart here with the Demi to make sure that I go through everything and I don't forget anything, because I want to make sure this video is super informational and I give you guys all the details on the Demi, because I want you guys to use it because it is so amazing and I just love it. So the end result that you're going to get with the Demi is going to be super shiny, beautiful hair, which is why I love using it as a top coat. That's why I love using it as a toner, because it gives my clients a beautiful, shiny end result when we finish. So let me see here. All right, and I'm going to be telling you guys some secrets, or they're not really secrets, they're just like things that people don't really realize with the Demi. So like I said, the processing time is 20 minutes. That's the full processing time. And of course, you can use it on dry hair and you can use it on damp hair. Now, it really depends on what I'm doing, which determines how I use it and if I use it on damp hair or dry hair. So typically, if I'm maybe giving somebody like an all over color, like someone comes in, they're like, I want to be darker. Then maybe if we're going like a couple shades darker, I'll put it on dry hair because they're going to get the most longevity on dry hair. Most of the time when I'm toning, I'm always toning on like damp hair. So I towel dry the hair really, really good, just damp, and then I let it process anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes, just depending on what I'm doing. I do a lot of blondes, so typically I'm only letting them process anywhere from like 2 to 7-ish minutes is kind of my average timing with toning blondes. Now, if it's someone I'm toning that's more of like a caramely color, I usually let it tone for about 10 minutes at the wash house on damp hair. All right, and then gray blending. So for gray, if you want to use the Demi for gray blending, you want to make sure, or let me say it, you want to make sure that your client is not more than 75% gray. So you want to be using the Demi, really if they're actually not more than 50% gray. You're not really going to get as much blending if they have more than 50% gray. If they have more than that, you're going to want to pick up something like a permanent color. But if they have less than 50% gray, they're a great candidate to get a gray blending service using the Demi. Now, there are only certain shades that you want to use when you're gray blending, and those are the shades with the brown base in them. So not all the Demis have a brown base, which I think is what scares most stylists and what turns people away, because if you grab certain colors, which I'll share this with you guys, if you want to write it down, if you're taking notes, if you're going to be using this, or if you've tried the Demi in the past, get out a pen and paper, write down all this information, because this is going to be super helpful for you. So all the shades that are just tonal color, like there's no brown base, it's straight up. If it says it's an R, it is straight R, there's no brown. If it says it's an ash, it is straight ash in the bottle. There is no brown undertone, no brown base. So these are all the colors that have, they're just tonal, just tone in the bottle. So the PAs, which is pearl ash, the AAs, which is ash ash, the ash, and the MT, and then also OR, the R series, VR, and V. Those are all straight tone. There's no brown base, so if you put it on the hair, it's going to be pretty intense depending on the hair you put it on. Of course, if we put any of those colors on my hair, you're going to get super intense results no matter what it is, because my hair is blonde. If we put any of those on like a darker brown, you're not going to get as much intensity. But those are all tone, just straight tone. So the ones that do have a brown base underlying is the BV, which actually stands for brown violet. A lot of people think that the BV, this one right here, is blue violet, and it's not. It's brown violet. So that one has a brown base in it. Also the N series, which is the naturals, which of course they have brown in it. And then their newest series, which is the NB series, they're called the Bombshell Beiges. Those have a brown base in it too, and they are so pretty. And actually I have swatches right here, I'll show you guys. So they have level 10 through 4 and for level 10 through 4 in the NB series. And look how pretty these are. Like, they are so gorgeous. These are literally one of my new favorites. I've been using these for all kinds of my balayages, shadow roots, adding low lights in people's hair. They are so pretty. They're gorgeous. I highly recommend trying those. Okay, and then also the G series has brown in it. The gold has a brown base. So that right there, I think, is helpful for a lot of people to know, because I think a lot of people think most all of the shades have like a brown base in it. So sometimes they use these colors and they put like the violet or the red and they expect it to be a little bit more muted, but it is like, it's like intense because it's just tone. So it's helpful to know what's in the bottles and what's behind the bottle. So a lot of times I like to mix my shades to get a softer end result, which I will share some of my top blonding formulas and toners in just a little bit so you guys can kind of see what I mean. All right, so let me see what I've already told you guys and what I still need to tell you. Okay, also I'm trying not to skip around too much, but going back to the gray blending, you want to do gray blending typically on levels 6 or darker. Anything lighter is not going to give you the optimal results and the best results that you can get. So gray blending with the Demi, your best candidate is going to be 50% or less gray, and they're going to be level 6 or darker. And you only want to use, like I said, the Demis that have the brown base in it, which would be the N, the NBs, the BV, or the G series. Those are going to give you the best coverage blending. Anything else is not going to blend it or anything at all. But you can mix a little bit of a tone with the N. So say someone's like a red brown, you could definitely do like an R and an N mixed together to get your red brown for someone that you're doing gray blending on. So you can mix them. All right. And then of course, when you are gray blending, it is gonna depend on the client's texture, which is gonna determine their outcome. I would always process for full 20 minutes when you are using it for blending, but take into consideration that if they have finer hair, it's probably gonna get a little bit more blending versus someone with like really coarse, thick hair. Theirs might not perform and blend as well as somebody with finer texture. So that will determine your end result as well. And then also, like I was saying, you can mix the shades. So I love mixing the shades for, especially when I'm toning. But also, there are certain colors in the Demi that they did not make. But if you get one of these swatch charts, which is so helpful, literally we have this in the salon, I refer to it often. And it doesn't matter how long you do hair, like these are still always helpful to go back to refer to. But I'm gonna show you guys a close-up. So we're talking about mixing the shades. So if you can see, like for instance, the Ash series right here. So Paul Mitchell has made a 10A and a 9A, but they did not make an 8 or a 7A. But right here on the swatch chart, they tell you exactly what you need to mix to make that 7 and 8 ash, if that's what you want and need to use. So unlike other color lines, you can say, for instance, their permanent hair color line, the Color XG, I could grab a 9A and mix it with a 7A and we could get an 8A. But that is not the case with the Demi. The Demi mixing is a little bit different than most color lines that you're used to. So that's why it's super important to look at this chart when you are mixing. And actually, I will give you a close-up in a second. You guys can take a screenshot of this if you don't have a chart. But also, I'll tell you where you can find this and all the other Paul Mitchell things related to color and all kinds of other helpful resources. You can find this along with literally all other Paul Mitchell color resources if you're interested at paulmitchellpro.com. And if you don't have an account, if you are a licensed hairstylist licensed professional. You can create an account on there and get all this information. You can print these off, save them, whatever. That way you can refer back to them. So anyways, back to the ashes. So they're missing the 7-8. Now it tells me that in order for me to make an 8 ash, I need to mix 2 parts of 9A to 1 part of 6A. So just for simple math, that means I need to mix 2 ounces of 9A plus 1 ounce of 6A. Now that's a lot of color, so if I was doing that on a client, I would condense it down, and a lot of times I use a scale or the bottles that have the measuring thing on it. But it literally tells you in all the categories what you need to mix in order to get those missing colors. So that's helpful. And again, you guys can find that on Paul Mitchell Pro. And if you want to take a screenshot of it real quick, I don't even know if you guys can see that because I feel like the light is glaring on it. But hopefully maybe you guys can see that a little bit and write it down, pause the video, screenshot this in case you need it or want to try to use it. But again, you guys can find this and all other color resources on paulmitchellpro.com. I will put that link in my bio or my description. That way you guys can easily click on it right from this video. All right, so also there is a clear Demi, which I'll grab it. It's right here. So there's a clear Demi. It comes in small bottles like this, but it also comes in a really big size, like a liter size, I think. Also, so you can use this by itself if you just want to top coat somebody, add a little shine to their hair, give them a little bit of life back into their hair, or maybe they don't get color that much, but their hair's a little lifeless and dull. You can easily introduce them to color, or it's just a great add-on service to up your service ticket just by adding a clear gloss onto somebody's service. You can also mix clear with any of the shades to not dilute it necessarily or not level it down, but give it more translucency. So you can add this, which I do when I'm toning my blondes sometimes with certain formulas, which again, I will share those in just a minute. So that's the clear. Okay, so you guys can write these down if you want. I'm gonna give you all my secret blonding formulas. You're welcome, and you're gonna have to watch the video to get them because I'm not gonna put them in the description, so yeah. All right, so these are my top secret blonding formulas. I'm giving them to you guys. So first formula I like to use a lot. Now it just really depends on what I'm doing, but honestly, I use so many different things on a lot of people. I always save my formulas in our computer system, but I like to experiment, and a lot of times I use other things as well, like Crema XG, which we'll talk about that in a second because that's also Paul Mitchell's other Demi permanent, which people get confused with because they're like, what's the difference? Why do they have 2 Demis? But I use different things. Okay, so the first one is I like to mix 9V and 9N together. It's a beautiful shade of blonde. It tones out the golden, but that 9N in there just keeps it a little bit softer so the blonde hair doesn't grab and turn super violet. I also like to do 9V and clear mixed together. The 9V is really intense, so a lot of times that's one thing that scares people. They grab the 9V to tone a blonde, and next thing you know, they're like, oh crap, the hair's purple. So 9V is great if you are trying to get somebody like a nice neutral blonde or even like an ashier looking blonde and they're super gold. The 9V is a great option. And I always tell people, when you are toning blondes, watch the Demi. Don't just put it on the hair and walk away and be like, oh, 5 minutes, or oh, leave it 10 minutes and it'll be fine. You have to watch the Demi because it will slowly progress and get not darker and darker, but more intense, tonal intense. So I always put it all over the hair and just kind of really work it through all over on the sides. And as I'm working it through, I'm watching it and watching it. And the 9V does tone really quickly. Typically on average, I'm only putting it on the hair for 2 to 5 minutes, just depending on the type of blonde I'm toning. But 9V in clear is a really good formula because it kind of, I don't want to say dilutes it, it gives it more transparency so that 9V isn't so intense. Okay, also 9A is super, super pretty. It's like, gives such a beautiful beachy blonde. It's so pretty. A lot of times I use that by itself. I will also use 9N and 9A together as another blonding formula, toning formula. And also, I didn't talk about these yet, but we also have, which is kind of a newer addition, they've been out for a little bit now, but the brass-free toners are super duper pretty. Hold on, let me grab them for you guys because they're so pretty. Okay, so they have 3 flash toners. They have the Demi Flash Finish, or the Flash Toner, brass-free blue, and then there's also a neutral beige and a brass-free violet. So these are all flash toners. So these can be left on the hair anywhere from 2 to 20 minutes also, but these are supposed to be really fast, quick toners. And I will tell you, I personally use the brass-free violet and the brass-free blue a lot. And these are also scary to people because when you put them on the hair and mix them up, they're super dark. So they put it on the hair and like, oh my gosh, it's so dark. But it's not. I actually use these two a lot for my platinum blondes. Other secret formulas. So, and if you go on my Instagram page, you'll scroll down a little bit. There's like she has like a little bit of a bob cut. It's a bob cut pretty much. And she's platinum blonde. So I actually, a lot of times, use the Demi Flash Finish brass-free violet on her hair. Oh, it's so pretty, you guys. So go check that out on my page if you want to see her end result. It is gorgeous. So on average, I'm actually leaving that on her hair for about 7 minutes to tone it. And sometimes I leave it on her roots a little bit longer and then I'll pull it through her ends because her ends have usually stayed pretty toned. She uses purple shampoo and conditioner at home. So lately I haven't really needed to tone her ends. She comes back in and they're like super blonde platinum still and I'm like, it's gorgeous. So sometimes I'll just leave it on her roots for about 7 minutes and then the last like minute I'll pull it through her ends just to add more shine, freshen it up just a little bit. But these are gorgeous on platinums. So pretty. And a lot of times my golden number for the flash toners is about 7 minutes. And again, they look super scary when you put them on, but they are not, I promise. They are super gorgeous. And by the way, if you guys want to see some formulas of the Demi that I use, if you scroll through my Instagram page, you'll find almost on most all of my posts, I post all my formulas. And there are so many Demi formulas because I'm not even joking. I use it all the time. So you guys can find formulas there. Also, I use the Demi a lot in like pretty much all my YouTube videos. So you guys can like watch previous videos and literally see other formulas that I've used, how I use it, how they turn out. So definitely check those out. All right, so let's see. What did I tell you guys already? What did I not? Okay, so one thing I did mention to you guys was color corrections. So because the Demi is it's a gel consistency. So it's not a straight liquid, it's a gel. So when you mix it with the processing liquid, and also the mixing ratio is equal parts. You always want to mix equal parts of the Demi with equal parts of processing liquid. That is going to give you the best consistency, which turns into like a gel and makes it really nice to apply on dry hair or the damp hair. But because of the consistency, I can apply the Demi super fast, whether it's on dry or damp hair, because that gel-like consistency just really melts into the hair and really is so easy to work with. It just glides on the hair, glides through the hair, saturates it really well, versus like maybe like a permanent color. You have to work a little bit more with it because the consistency of like a permanent color is going to be a little bit thicker than the Demi. And the Demi lasts anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, which is typically how long a permanent color is going to last anyways. People are always like, well, what's the difference between permanent and Demi? Personally, I think the Demis fade a lot nicer, so most people have to come in anyways, no matter what, in about 4 to 6 weeks to get their color refreshed. So I personally like the Demis a little bit better. Now it depends on what I'm using it for, because it just fades really nice. Whereas sometimes permanent, you know, it can leave a little bit more of, I don't want to say like a harsh line, because I feel like I don't really notice that as much with any of the Paul Mitchell colors. But with other color lines I've used, the Demis always kind of fade a lot prettier. Anyways, I love using the Demi also for shadow roots. Let me just tell you guys right now, the Demi is the bomb for like color melt and shadow roots, because it just melts into the hair. And I literally don't have to do a ton of extra work to get it to blend, because it just like, it already just kind of melts into the hair just because it's that gel-like consistency. So I love using it for that if I can. Now if they have gray, a lot of times I'll have to use like permanent color obviously, but most of my clientele is a little bit younger and they're coming in for like balayages, so a lot of times I use the Demi for their shadow roots, color melts. It's great for that, I just love it. And then, okay, back to color correction. I'm getting sidetracked here, sorry y'all. So because it is a gel-like consistency, and it is a quick processing time, it's great to use for like repigmentation. If you are in the middle of a color correction, the Demi is a great color to grab because it processes quick, gets through the hair really quick, and it cuts down my time, my color correction time. Also, I love using the MT. It's green, which is like scary, but it is so bomb to color correct reds. Oh yes, it's so great. So a lot of times people come in, they've got like previous color, maybe it's box color, and they've got like red in their hair and they want to get rid of it because like, I don't want to see red, I don't want to see warmth, and the MTs are so good. I'll put that on, so maybe if we're doing highlights, I'll put their highlights in, and then in between the highlights, I'll slap on some 6MT. Sometimes I'll do a brush, sometimes I'll do a bottle and just work it through, let it process the full 20 minutes, and it neutralizes it to a beautiful brown and eliminates all of the red and the warmth in their hair. Super awesome. That's pretty much all I've ever used the MTs for. No one's ever really wanted green hair. That has come to me. So that's also really great for reds. And it sounds scary because it has green in it, but I'm gonna give you guys a little color correction lesson here real quick. So, which is another cool thing that I love about all Paul Mitchell's charts. They literally put the color wheel on every single like color chart they ever made, which is super helpful because literally I will always refer back to the color wheel. It doesn't matter how long I've been doing hair, I will always look at this. So anyways, they tell you right here, it says MT right in the green, which is cool because then I know, oh, okay, in the MT bottle, that's green, that's where it lives. Which is also cool because they put all the Demi colors on here. So if you ever are questioning like, what's in the bottle, what tone is it, you can literally look on here and it tells you like, oh, AAs live in the blue, so there's blue in the bottle. VR, it lives right in the red, violet, violet. It tells you the NB and the N are right in the brown. So it tells you like right where everything lives. So that is all about the Demi. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. And oh, by the way, I was going to tell you guys my acrylic organizers, they're actually nail polish organizers, and I got them off Amazon and they work so good for like organizing your bottles of color. So I love using that. They actually got to be hung up on the wall over there, but for now they're here and I wanted you guys to see them because they work so good for that. So anyways, just found them on Amazon. They're just acrylic nail polish organizers, I think is technically what they're called, but they work perfectly for that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any other questions about the Demi, if I forgot to tell you guys anything or anything I didn't answer that you still have questions about, please comment below, because other people read the comments and someone else might have the same question as you. Or you can shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm at megan.lorson. All my channels and everything are the same. They're all Megan Lorson, megan.lorson. So you guys can shoot me a DM over there. Also, check out my Instagram. Like I said, I have so many formulas on there. I share all my formulas with you guys, and there's lots of other educational content. I love putting educational content out for you guys. I'm super passionate about putting out these videos and making them for you guys. So whatever I can do to help this industry, to help you as a hairstylist grow and succeed, I am here for it. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and please share it if you guys found it helpful, because I think it's going to be a really helpful video for a lot of other people. And also make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a really fun clothing haul next week. So stay tuned for that. All right, I will see you guys in my next one.